Okay. Welcome everyone to Real Estate with Gwen Price, and we're here talking about our monthly market update. And with me is Lana Watier and Trina Tallon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi. How's everybody doing?
Great. It's great.
Yeah, the weather's getting a little bit better. And what did I put up the other 3 weeks till spring? Well, now it's 2.5 weeks till spring. Not that that's going to make much difference. We're still going to have snow on the ground and be dealing with that. And but I mean, there's been some pretty awful things going on in the world with Ukraine since we last talked, and that's a horrible situation.
It is completely horrible. It's very concerning for everybody. I mean, it's not something that I would have expected to see really in my lifetime. So
yeah. How is that affecting things, Trina, in terms of, is there any effect yet on the mortgage? I mean, isn't the government, did they increase the rates yet, or are they still talking about them? Or
well, it's kind of interesting because I've been going back and forth in conversations with people about rates, and in general, what I find year over year is that fixed rates go up every winter and then they go down in the summer.
Oh, you're freezing there a bit.
And then they go down, increasing their five.
Oh, there, you were freezing there a bit, but I think we got you back again.
Am I good?
Yeah, no, yeah, there you go. Sorry.
So that's one thing, is that our internet's been affected quite a bit over the last week. So I don't know who to blame that on.
Well, me too. I don't know either, because it's happening to me too. But yeah, so you were saying something about the fixed rates during the winter.
Well, I've just always noticed that during the winter they tend to go up, and then in the late spring and summer they tend to go down. Now, last night I had a bunch of fixed rate increases pop up, which is also very typical for when the banks feel that the Bank of Canada is going to increase the prime rate, which they did do. And I find that the banks will increase their fixed rates because they expect people to go into panic mode and convert their variable to fixed. So I did a bunch of math this morning while I was having my coffee. No Baileys though. I'll save that for the weekend.
That's painful in itself, just the whole thing about math.
Well, exactly. Luckily enough, we have computers that do most of it. I just have to key in numbers.
Yeah.
So I took if you have a $350,000 mortgage, and I took about the average 5-year fixed rate for last year. And over a 5-year term, if you went with the fixed rate, the interest you'd be looking at is about $35,000. If you went with the variable rate at what it was yesterday, then your interest over the term was only $18,000. So that's almost half.
Yeah.
With the increase that the Bank of Canada put forward this morning, which is 0.25%, I keyed that in, and the interest that you pay over the term is $22,000 versus having been in a fixed rate, and again the $35,000. If you would have had your mortgage for the last 6 months and you went with the average 5-year fixed rate versus the average 5-year variable rate, your 6-month savings to date would have been $1,800 alone. So I tell all my clients, calm down.
That's good advice nowadays for everybody.
It's okay. Because even if prime goes up by 1%, from the time that they got their mortgage to the time that goes up to 1%, like does a 1% increase, there's still less than what the 5-year fixed would have been when they got their mortgage this summer.
Yeah.
That's A. But the number 2 item, which should be the number 1 item on people's list, and they always forget this, is what happens if you need to break the mortgage within your term. Right. If you flip it to a fixed and you need to break it, then you're going to probably pay a higher penalty than staying in the variable, because the variable, no matter what, is always only 3 months interest.
Yeah.
That fixed rate is either 3 months interest or interest rate differential, the greater of either, which typically with fixed rates going up, you're going to be an interest rate differential. And that's when you start getting into, instead of having a $2,000 penalty, you have $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 penalty, depending on where the rates are sitting at the time. So that's my spiel about rates, and everyone just needs to have some Baileys in their coffee.
So the war in Ukraine, we haven't felt anything happening yet because of that, or is it
The
more
interesting,
stocks?
the interesting thing is that the bond index actually went down by 25 basis points, which what that generally equates to are fixed rates coming down. But in the back of my mind, and there's no scientific proof of this, the banks are increasing those fixed rates because they know that panic's going to kind of set in, with the Bank of Canada for the first time in 2 years, increasing it by like 0.25, a quarter of a percent. But those, I can see those fixed rates starting to come down again. So we'll see. Honestly, still super low. Like the story goes to 2018 when I purchased my house, my rate, my special broker rate from a bank was 3.39%. So
yeah, I know it's and certainly, well, and of course people are we still have a shortage of listings, still a lot of activity, and I was talking to you, I'll give you some of the stats that have been happening, because now the average sale price in Sudbury is getting very close to 500. We're about 480-ish, 489, which is up 39% since last February. And like I'm looking in some of the outlying areas I was mentioning, like the average sale price in the Valley and in New Sudbury is about 521, which and we could kind of see it oftentimes, right, Atlanta, where we'd see something listed at 399 in the New Sudbury, and it's selling over 5. Like, it's hard to wrap your head around that, especially for these young buyers out there.
Well, it is. It's very hard to wrap your head around it, and even the smaller homes, like in the outlying areas like Lively, things like that, properties that are listed and 500-600 square feet. Hang on.
Okay. Oh. We'll pause.
We'll come back to Lana.
Poor Lana. She got so excited about those prices.
Exactly, because there are quite a few people are joking about them.
Well,
but did you notice that? So I saw that yesterday too, when Sagen released their market updates. I don't know if you got that email or not.
No, I didn't see it.
So I always compare us to Kitchener-Waterloo, because we're both the same average income kind of thing when we talk like Sudbury proper and Kitchener-Waterloo kind of thing. And I don't know, I can't recall, I don't want to bring it up right now. I can't recall if Genworth Sagen had Sudbury at 475 or something like that, or close to 500. Kitchener-Waterloo is now over 900,000.
I know. Yeah. I know we're still considered a deal by Southern Ontario standards for sure. And I think that's why there are a lot of out-of-town realtors and their clients looking here for investments. And I think that's also part of the new Sudbury, because as you know, there's a lot of in-law suites in New Sudbury with the 2 colleges there and all of that sort of thing. So that seems to be, whenever something like that is listed, they're going well over the asking price. And I mean, literally, I'm shocked every day. And so the buyers out there must be as well. And then I looked even, what's happened since COVID. Well, in the city of Greater Sudbury, and it's pretty well even New Sudbury, the South End, and that prices went up about 40 to 50% since COVID. So And that's really kind of when we were starting it in 2019, having some craziness going on, and then COVID hit, and it just continued, right? And so, you know, when you see, even in the last 5 years, basically prices have gone up about 80% and those first time buyers are having such a hard time getting into the market. And so Lana's back with us. Okay.
Sorry about that.
You got excited about
I don't have COVID, but
but just the excitement of all those price increases.
yeah.
And people always think realtors love this. Well, I hate this market. It's great for my sellers, but a lot of people aren't listing because they're going to be competing against all the other buyers out there. So
it is a tough market to be in for any buyer, whether you're a first time buyer or move up buyer or what have you. It isn't, you know, like you say, people think, oh, it's a great time to be in real estate. To a certain extent, yes, but I think moreover for most people, it's not a great time for real estate. I mean, I have so many clients that are struggling to buy, and some people just can't afford to or are not comfortable with the situation that's happening now with your multiple offers and people are going in unconditional. So they don't have the opportunity to do home inspections or even have the comfort of having their finances reviewed by their mortgage broker or their financial institution. So it's a tough time for everybody, and realtors as well. You know, it's not buying a property is a very emotional, can be a very emotional and stressful situation, and it's just, you know, hard to help your clients a lot of times when they are, you know, you've got little properties that are selling for ridiculous prices that you know, being in the business like we have, like, you know, I'm 20 years in the business. Gwen, you're what?
34 in May.
So
I've seen it all.
and
This is the worst I've seen it, actually. You know, when I started, the prices were climbing, and then they took a deep dive. But 34 years ago, we were so dependent on mining. It affected us whenever there was any kind of hiccup at mining. And what I've seen is we're a lot more stable. And I think that's another reason why it's attractive to out of town people looking at us. We don't have those peaks and valleys. And if we're having the peaks and valleys, the rest of the world is having those peaks and valleys. Like, so,
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's, I know people think that realtors are only in it for the money, but anybody who's in it for the long haul, we are concerned about our clients. We care what happens to them, and nobody likes doing this under stress. And there's a lot of stress, even when you're selling your house and you're making all kinds of money. Where are you going? What do you know, are you going into an apartment? Are you a senior? So there's lots of factors that come into play.
Well, you have to live somewhere, right? Yeah. I mean, unless you're, you know, selling your house and going to move on to a cruise ship somewhere, you have to have an address. You have to move somewhere, whether it's going to be another home or apartment or what have you. And even the rental market here is so tight, where, you know, there aren't a lot of quality places to rent. Yeah. So it can be a jackpot for everybody. And I know, you know, realtors kind of bear the brunt of that animosity from a lot of people, and we don't set the prices. We don't set the prices. The buyers set the price. That's, you know, we don't have anything to do with the lack of inventory. That's the seller's area. Yeah. You know, we're riding the wave just as well as everybody else. So,
well, it's sellers for sure. I 100% agree with everything Lana's saying. The other thing too is that in Canada, we are now getting over 350 to 400,000 immigrants per year coming in, and 70% of these immigrants are highly educated and coming with money. Mm-hmm. And they're coming for jobs. They're being headhunted by Canadian companies, and they're coming in and they want to purchase real estate. They don't want to go pay rent and things like that. They're used to owning a home. So having that kind of influx of people as well, which is something we need in our economy to keep our country growing. Yep. It's like a major housing shortage crisis happening right now. So we need to start more trades. We need more trades.
Everything. Yeah. And you know, like, I think too, when there's a lot of insecurity in the world, you look for security, and real estate over time is a pretty secure investment. It appreciates over time, and you get to live in the place, you know. And I think that on top of, I mean, COVID, this war, I think a lot of people are feeling they want a cocoon. They want to be in a safe place, and home typically is your safe place, you know, that you've got a place to call your own. You've got a yard, maybe you've got, and you're paying towards an asset. You're typically your most valuable asset.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
it's interesting. I mean, you know, every month we say the same thing. The prices keep going up and they keep going up, and they are, and we haven't reached that plateau yet, because I thought it was maybe going to start at the beginning of this year, but in fact, and unfortunately, one of my young clients called me, and she had started looking about 2 years ago and was trying to buy something under 200,000. And she asked me how things were going, and I said, it's actually worse. It's worse than ever for you. There's nothing you're going to be happy with under 200,000, and if there's competition from other buyers and investors, right? They'll buy something they can flip or do whatever. So it's not good, but it is what it is, and
It is what it is.
we
Yeah.
gotta work it, and you know, and try our best to find somebody the house of their dreams, or that they're gonna, you know, be able to live in till they on to the next one. And
Yep.
and I still like my job, even though it's very, very trying at times. And you know, and I love, you know, you get a listing, it's gone. You get a listing, it's gone. And it's you know, we sometimes have, you know, a few listings sitting, but they were taking longer to sell. Nowadays, things are days on the market. So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
but anyway, I always look forward to spring, no matter what. If the sun's shining, I feel better. And once the snow, because I'm not like you, Lana. I'm not into snow machines and all that kind of thing. I like to see the green grass growing and get out in my garden, and I love to see things growing out there. It's my favorite time of year. So
That's awesome.
We're getting there. The weather's getting a lot nicer. We're in the single digits now instead of it like -40. So that's a plus. We're getting there.
Yeah, we are. Well, great talking to you ladies again, and we'll see what happens, and we'll always hope for the best for Ukraine, because that's such a horrible, horrible situation, and my heart breaks for all of those people over there. But yeah, anyway, we'll talk to you again in the month. Take care.
Have a great March.
Have a
Take
good
care, ladies.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Gwen.
Okay, we'll take care. Bye.